Welcome back to Pixie Heart Club, where dreams, magic, and heartwarming conversations come to life. I'm your co-host, Troy Nicole.
And I'm Brittany, and it's the season finale
It's
time.
the season finale of season 2 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, which means we will not be seeing them for another 8 months.
Uh, I'm. I know there's child labor laws and all that other stuff, but I'm just like, can we have more than 8 episodes, please? Or if you're gonna give us 7 episodes, I need them to be no less than an hour apiece.
You know what? Walker recently said that this season that's coming up may be the most book accurate season, which gives me joy, not because I'm necessarily a book purist, but
Hmm.
because with the changes that they keep making in the show, I don't think they have the allotted time to pull
Yes,
through with them. So I don't necessarily think it's really necessary to keep making changes if we just don't have the time for it.
that was, I think, in my opinion, that is my biggest critique for the season finale. I just think while some of the changes closed holes, some of these changes left holes wide open. And I'm going to be reserved in how I feel about it because again, we don't have season 3, but I also in my opinion, book 3 is one of the stronger books of the series for multiple reasons. So to know that this might be a little bit more book accurate, I actually am like, okay, if it's book accurate, why did these things happen?
Well, which ones are you talking about?
Well, maybe we should just go in order because otherwise we'll get out of order and then end up missing things.
Okay.
So it starts with the car scene
Mhm.
with Percy and Sally, and Sally immediately realizing that something is wrong with Percy. This is what we said in the last podcast, where like I really
Yeah.
like that like Sally is really honed in still to Percy.
Mhm.
But Blackjack being in the middle of the street and then Percy getting out and throwing his hands up, like I thought
I
that
will
was funny.
I will stand by not letting us hear Blackjack's voice because we're not in Percy's head anymore is one of the best things they could have done because it's so hilarious watching him talk to this horse.
Yeah, and I'm like, I just want to go watch the behind the scenes. You know, they how Disney posts the behind the
Yeah.
scenes. I really hope that we see a scene with Walker and the horse because I just want to see like how it feels to like actually act these scenes out with the horse just sitting there like,
Like, yeah, dude, whatever.
yeah. And at this point I'm watching with somebody who has no book knowledge, right?
Hmm.
And my best friend has texted me this whole line. Both of them said the exact same thing. Why the F would Clarice get off the horse? If they saw like the Cyclops or whatever, why would she not fly in on the horse and do whatever? And I told them, I was like, I promise on the podcast, I will tell y'all what actually happens in the book, but like, I actually did not mind. I didn't mind.
I figured she didn't get on the horse in case somebody shot at her.
That was my assumption, but then also I give Clarice more credit than a lot of people give Clarice because I know a lot of people, especially people that have not read the books, like they do not like Clarice. Like
Hmm.
the way that we love her, they are not fans. They think she is stupid and arrogant. I mean, she is very arrogant, but I was like, there had to
Comes
be
with
a
the
reason that
territory.
Clarice got off the horse. Like there's obviously a reason, but I actually loved
Like,
everything about why because then we get Chris, and so
oh, that
I was
scene. The
like, I'm
actor who
actually
plays Chris, I was like, yes, yes, absolutely. I love that scene so much, which we kind of jump over, but a few
yeah, we
things
can
going
skip
to
on this
that.
part.
But
We can jump
he
back.
was he was he was really good. But I figured that she got off Blackjack in case somebody shot at her. Because I mean, in retrospect, when she got there, people like attacked her or about to attack her until they realized it was Clarice. So
Right.
I
And
assume that
plus,
she
the
got off the
last time
horse.
they
Yeah.
saw Blackjack, Luke was riding him.
Luke was riding him.
So it's like I could see why they might have attacked, and Clarice actually cares. Maybe she didn't want Blackjack to get hurt. So I could totally see that.
And it would not help her falling from the sky.
And it also would not help her falling from the sky. So I just thought that whole part was funny. I think the scene where Percy and Sally are talking, and like, Sally obviously wants to help because it's Sally, and
Right.
Percy's distraught
He's
Like,
like, we're
you
not
can't.
doing this again.
He was like, I can't do this. And he looked so, I was like, you know what? Percy's character has actually gone through a lot this season. Like, I know we were focusing
Man.
on Annabeth a lot, but like, for everything that Percy is and everything that Percy like represents, like all of that was very tested
Mm-hmm.
this season. So to get to the point where he's like, Mom, please go home.
Like, out of everything I have to do this year, please don't let you be another one. Just
I mean,
go
and
home.
he looked so broken. I said, all right, Walker, we got it. You're not about to thug tier me in the
Like
very
I
beginning of this
felt so
episode.
bad. I was like, oh, poor Percy, because at this point, like I feel like in season one and book one, he only really has to deal with, I don't want to say only, but he only deals with what happens to Sally, and he gets Sally back. But
Right.
with Tyson and Annabeth, he watches Tyson
It's
die
like it's
twice.
multiple times in the series he thought he lost them.
Yeah, and then like Annabeth almost dies. Annabeth gets kidnapped, and I feel like what
He
it comes
thought
down
he
to,
thought Tyson was dead, and then Tyson comes back, and then Tyson goes off a cliff. It's just too. I'm like, actually, all of this stuff happened in like a couple of days.
and then what I think is the problem, not the problem, but like the thing with Percy in particular is that everyone that he has seen almost die doing something to save this quest, to save the world, to save him.
Or to help him.
And they would die doing those things. Like we know
Yes.
that Tyson and Annabeth and Sally would absolutely die in order to save him, in order to save the world, in order to do whatever they had to do. So in his perspective, he's like, he's kind of like, I don't, okay, wait, that's kind of a spoiler.
I think it's one of those things where it's like he can do it, but he don't want nobody else doing it.
He has sort of a, like when he gets into Camp Half Blood for seasons 1 and 2. I can't say what happens in season 3, but
Right.
in seasons 1 and 2, he's kind of put on this pedestal where he's this big time hero. He's one of the big three's kids, and all this attention is put on him. So he puts a weight on his own shoulders, no pun intended. Where he eventually starts, feeling like I have to save them. I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to be the one to sacrifice. So when everyone else
Mhm.
starts sacrificing, he cannot physically take it.
Yep. It's cool when I do it, not when y'all do it. That's
Like if
kind of how
I'm if
Percy
I jump
operates.
off this cliff, that's one
Right.
thing.
But then it also just kind of reaffirms the whole loyalty thing when it comes to Percy because like he don't play about his mama. Like
Mm-mm.
that's the original I don't play about in this whole
I don't play about
series.
my
So
mama.
I just love that scene. I was like, and then Sally also shout out to the actress that's playing Sally. I think they are a perfect mother
Mother
son
daughter, mother son.
mother son connection because like I mean she started tearing up as soon as he got teary eyed. She got
I was like, no, don't do this, don't do this.
yeah, but I was like,
Sally,
but
get in your
stop,
car,
because
get
like
in the
the
car.
episode just started, and I'm not about to thug tier for y'all. I'm not doing this.
It was too
So,
much.
so then we get to the whole part where we notice that Luke and his crew are rolling up in those vans, which I don't know why, but
You
them
know
getting
what?
out of the vans cracked me up.
Gotta give it to Cronus. He is efficient with his
Very
army.
right, because I was like, dang, not where did these vehicles come from?
Because since it doesn't happen in the books, I didn't know what I expected. I kind of just thought that they would just like come in like guns blazing, but seeing them roll up like I'm watching a mafia movie was
Yes, but then
really
roll up and then
funny.
casually like unpack. I was like, I guess this logically makes sense, but this is just not what I was
Like,
expecting.
okay.
Like it almost looked like a rivalry camp had pulled up. Like that's what it
Mm-hmm.
looked like.
It did.
Oh my gosh, wait, we forgot. We forgot. Remember how last episode we were like, how are they gonna handle Tantalus?
Oh, they handled him. I was like, oh.
I died. I was like, at no point in my mind did I ever imagine that the way y'all were gonna take Tantalus out is with the fireball to the face.
I'm not gonna lie. I was really looking forward to him being put back in his jumpsuit and chains.
Yes,
I'm not,
I don't know
but
because
but
in the
watching
book,
him turn into a fiery mess, I was like, oh, okay.
no, because like once he grabbed the the turkey bone or the chicken bone,
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh my god, he's gonna die. And then I
Yeah.
was like, But nobody, oh my God.
I was like, okay, that's where we're going with this.
Right. I was like, well, that handles the question of what are they gonna do with
Like,
Tantalus.
I do wonder, like, did he die or did he just go back to hell?
I assume he just went back to the underworld.
Like,
I assume because I
I guess it
mean,
doesn't really matter, but
yeah, I don't think it mattered. I think that was done in such a way where it was like, who cares?
I mean, honestly,
That's
honestly,
really what it gave. That throwing fireball to the face was very much who cares.
no. And then Chris's face was kind of like, camp is being overrun. Like, are you gonna do anything? And then that fireball came, and it was like, okay,
Yeah, no, it's the way that all of the kids were basically just like, all right, well,
well, keeping it
bet.
pushing.
I was like, oh, this was not what I was expecting at all. Like, okay.
No, but you know what? RIP Tantalus, I guess. But
Well, because like I was explaining this to my friend. I was like, okay, so I was like, the way that this happens in the book, I was like, they're on the ship and the iris messages are still working. So Percy sends an iris message to camp where they hear Luke admitting everything that he's done and how he's poisoned Thalia's tree and everything like that. And that's when Mr. D hears it and is basically like, okay, well, I guess Chiron didn't do it.
right,
And like, that's kind of how Tantalus goes away. Like, he goes away trying to reach for food, of course, but
yeah.
like, it's still a comedic moment. So I'm glad that they
Mhm.
still kept it a comedic moment. I just
And
laughed because I
the
was just like,
actor who plays Tantalus, I'm so sorry we will never see you again because you are
I'm right.
hilarious.
I'm so sorry that we will never see you again, but thank you for the moments that you gave us in episode 1, 2, and this one. Thank
Like,
you because it was
beautiful,
nothing but
beautiful. You
nonsense.
phenomenal work.
Yeah,
Phenomenal work.
nothing but nonsense, and we appreciate every bit of it for you.
Okay, so what's next?
When Percy and them get stopped in the woods by old
Oh,
dude, I was like, to the actor that played the character that's gonna like take them in, I said, you knew this was your moment to shine. Good job, you did. I was like, I hated you. Good job.
he's
But
Clarice's brother, right?
coming into the room with Mr. D when he's just singing with the younger kids.
Talking about my great 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 grandfather. I'm just like, what is he saying right now?
I was like, who is he singing about? Like, there are not that many.
There's not
Who?
that many because
Yeah,
like
I was like, who is your
after
great
you go
great great
back
great great
to
great grandfather?
because after you go to Zeus, then you go to Kronos, then you go to the Earth, so in the
Yeah, I was
sky.
like, then you
So
go
I'm
to
like, who
Gaia.
are we talking about?
Who's before Gaia? Like, I was
How
like,
do
you're
we?
such a troll. He's such a troll for no reason. He's just such a
I
troll.
love him.
Yeah,
He might be
again,
the only god in the Percy Jackson universe that has propaganda I would fall for.
honestly, yeah, because he's just so unserious that it's just
He's so
like
serious.
you're so on brand right now that like every time you come on screen, I'm laughing. So this
Mm-hmm.
is exactly the Mr. D that I needed. So I'm like, I'm not really too worried about you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
However, the little scene between when Percy decided he wanted to do his little monologue, I was like,
Okay, we get a little. We're
I said,
giving her.
I
I
said, you
said,
know,
all right, Percy.
the transition from being bought in as captives to this speech is a little weird. Pacing is a little off a little bit in this series. We are in this episode. Pacing is a little weird. We go 0 to 100 really quick. But the little hoorah, I was like, okay, fine. Then we get to the part where Luke and that girl that I'm sorry, I can't stand her. I can't stand her. I can't stand her. Let's just talk about the battle because there's actually multiple components of the battle that I want to talk about here. Actually, no. Let's pause. Let's go back to
We need to go back
Clarice.
to Clarice. Yeah.
Let's go back to Clarice and the reveal that Chris is actually a traitor.
Right.
And I loved hearing the reaction of my friends that don't read the book because obviously we knew
Mm-hmm.
that Chris was a traitor. The way that they chose to reveal that Chris is a traitor, I really liked.
I was like, oh, he's ruthless.
Yeah,
Damn.
I was like, I think he might actually be more brutal than Luke because
Like,
he tried to
Lord.
just shriek. I mean, everybody with him that wasn't a part of the team just
It also just seemed kind of unnecessary. Like, I don't mean unnecessary from a writing standpoint, but I just mean from
right.
him, period. Like, the the need to be mean to Clarice in particular just seemed unwarranted because like the
It was
whole
too random.
your first mistake was thinking that we're friends when you don't have any friends. I was like, that was so
Yeah,
uncalled
but
for.
then you had to think about how like the whole season she's been focused on the part of the prophecy where it says that she has no friends.
Hmm.
Like, so I'm like, I see why y'all did. I was like, but was it really necessary? I mean, that
Yeah,
man.
that's why I said I wasn't meaning it was unnecessary from a plot or a writing standpoint. I just meaning for him, like why did he need
Yeah,
to say that?
and keep in mind, Clarice was taking down bodies again before he sliced her back of her leg.
Hmm.
She was whooping them up.
You're
Like,
right.
what we're not gonna do is act like Clarice is not the best fighter in the thing. Like, yeah, Luke can handle the swords, but she stayed in an uneven fight, just knocking everybody down.
Hmm.
Just, I'm like, why is it five of y'all and she's knocked down three of you
And this
already?
is like the second or third time we've seen her battle people that's like a billion of them against her.
I was
I'm just
like,
like,
the
y'all
only
really
reason
wanted
that she didn't get over all the way was because Chris sliced her.
right. Because had
And
he not
even
had
then,
that,
she
he
outran everybody.
but he knew he had to slice her down because he knew that
He
wasn't gonna
knew.
win.
I
Yeah.
mean, he's
But
not dumb by any
I
means.
knew
Like,
when he made the comment about friends, I said, all right, where's Annabeth at? Where's Annabeth? I know
and
she's
then see
coming.
Annabeth and Grover rolling in on the cart.
Hmm.
He said, yeah. Yeah. But I actually really liked the fact that it was like, grab the fleas. And then it was Clarice, come on. I was like,
Because,
because let's be clear, Annabeth and Clarice both feel like it's the fleece above all else.
yep, yep.
That both of them feel this way, and both of them
Hmm.
have operated in a way that it's very clear. Like, listen, like you cool or whatever, but like
Hmm.
we got to get this fleece.
We got to get this, keep on going. Yep. Okay, now we
So
can go to your
I
battle.
cheered. It was one of those happy cheer moments. I was like, okay, Grover, look at you in the battle, in the scene. But
Okay, now we
yeah,
can go to the battle.
now we get to the point where Luke shows them how to bring um the other monsters into the camp,
Hmm.
but he couldn't get more than one in because Percy decides to, antagonize Luke immediately.
Which I was waiting for. I wonder if they were going to keep that in because in the books he antagonizes him on the Princess Andromeda, but
Yes.
here he kind of antagonizes him, face to face on ground. So, but also I just didn't really understand. Like, is his whole group isn't just people that are old and out of Camp Half Blood. They're
Okay.
young. Why don't they just go up and
I
again, I
was
don't mean this from a
very
writing
confused
standpoint.
about that
I just
because
mean it from like is Cronus' army just full of like kind of dumb demigods? Like, why wasn't someone else just going, you know what? Trevor, whatever, allow you to come in.
I was like, who doesn't everybody at camp know this how this works? Like, wasn't old girl at the camp before you? Why didn't she know how to do
We
this?
already
Like, she's
established
so
that
useless.
Allison is useless.
Allison does nothing but torment my brain. Like everything that Alice does. Because remember, she was like, oh, we gotta cut down the tree. And then Luke's like, no, like we need to
Like,
bring Talia out of the tree.
and then I think, and this is why I made the comment 2 episodes ago where I was like, what is her like solid beef with Annabeth in particular? Because she doesn't even have this beef with Percy.
She
Like, she doesn't have
doesn't.
the beef with Percy. She doesn't have it with
Clarice.
Grover. She has it with Annabeth. Heck, I mean, think about it. In the beginning, when we see Grover in like episode 1 and he bumps into them, she doesn't have this hostile feeling against him. And I
No.
mean, of course, you can say that she feels like, that Annabeth is a weakness for Luke, but
Yes.
in retrospect, that could be easily taken out. So why still the hostility towards Annabeth? You're acting
And
like
not even
Annabeth
just
is
the
like,
hostility, but the way that she feels like she can tell Luke what to do.
yeah.
Like, why do you think like what like did they put you in second command or something? Like, because why do you
That's
feel
what
like
I
you
wanted
can
to
tell
know.
Luke what to do? I need that part to be explained because I'm like, this girl just be talking, just be talking. Also,
And you know
shout out
what?
to Tyson for that trident.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was
When I
like,
saw the
absolutely.
trident, I said,
I said it is protect Tyson to the
at
day
all
I
costs.
at
At
all
all
costs.
costs. However, the actual battle, I was like, okay, I guess so. Cool. When Luke started wrathing out, because that's the only way that I could explain it.
Luke is so interesting to me because, like, I don't like if I was Annabeth, and this is, I feel like where Annabeth, love and care for Thalia and Luke get in the way of her being so
Mhm.
smart. Is if I was
Yeah.
Annabeth and this man was straight up thinking that some little boy I met a year ago is the reason I don't want to murder people, I would have to beat his ass.
I just
What do you mean? You think Percy is the reason Annabeth doesn't want to murder demigods?
I was just like, he went from 0 to 1,000 so quick.
Oh,
Keep in mind though,
quick.
Percy was holding his own, had
Mhm.
unarmed him and everything, and then Luke just went nuclear. I was
He was just like,
honestly,
"Okay,
I
well, I
was
can throw my
shocked that
hand."
Disney kept that in. I was shocked that Disney did that. I was kind of shocked.
Honestly, I'm surprised they made it more mature like it is, period. So,
But that is
no.
also true. But that's why, because I was like, they're literally killing babies. Like these are like young kids getting sliced.
Mhm.
I said, oh, wait, like the older kids, but these are babies. Like, oh no, they're knocking down kids. I said, I mean, logically this makes sense because logically, like, this is what Camp Half Blood is. But yo,
Mhm.
and then the straight punch the
Ooh,
living daylights out
I
of
was I was like,
Percy.
"Oh, Luke is just like, damn the
Razzing
sword."
out. Like if this was a cartoon, he'd have like a red aura coming off of him
Yep.
because especially how fast he was punching him. I said, "Oh, he's actually trying to kill him. This is
It's
good."
like
I said, "Okay."
and I think that's why it was interesting to me in season 1 that they changed it from Luke wanting to kill Percy to Luke offering Percy to come to his side, because
Mhm.
in the books, it gives you an early look at, okay, Luke, there is no, helping him. Like, it just no
Right.
matter what you, because even without knowing what happens later, risk reading book 1 and getting to the end of book 1, you're like, "Oh, Luke is gone." Like, there is
Yes.
no humanity left in Luke. And for them to change it in the series to where he's kind of like, join me. I actually really liked it because I do think that it offers another aspect to it. Like, there was still humanity in Luke at that time
Yes.
before, the whole Annabeth thing happened. And then he now blames Percy for everything. Like, Percy is just the one who ruins his whole life.
Yeah. For me, I this is gonna sound terrible, but I was like, I would love to hear the Luke apologists talk their way out of this one because
They probably
there
would.
was no restraint.
Mm-mm.
There was like, I mean, that he was if it wasn't for Tyson yeeting that man across the barrier, which
Mm-hmm.
again, protect Tyson at all costs, he was more than happy and ready to kill Percy for
Oh
Kronos
yeah.
because Kronos told him to prove it, and he said, "Bet,
Yep.
bet, I'll
He's
prove
like,
it."
okay, finally get to do this. Let's go.
Right, and then we get Annabeth and them finally arriving on the scene,
And Allison shooting
and
that
here
bow. I
come
said,
Allison.
are you happy now? Can you relax?
And it's the smile that she had on her face as she did it. I was like, I'm a horrible person because had I been like, I couldn't be a child of anybody in that scene because I'd have been like, some child of Apollo, you didn't even
Like,
hit her
you
heart.
you
Like
you you struck her
you
here.
you hit her over here, bro. Like I'm sorry, isn't her heart here? How you
Didn't
get up here?
Cronus tell you to kill her?
I'm like, last episode, he told you to go ahead and eliminate her. So that shot was horrible, sis. Like she
It
was
was
running straight. I was like, this is why I hate you, Allison. You're not even good.
I don't
This
even okay, but here's my other thing is that if the understanding is that Thalia would join Cronus's army because of her hatred for Zeus,
yeah.
why then try to kill Annabeth? Because even if she hates Zeus to extreme components, killing Annabeth would not get her on your side.
And then also from doing that stupid moment to cut down the tree, I said again, how does she have first of all, how does she have so much power to make that demand and then people actually follow it? That's my first
Mhm.
question. And then two, Luke already said, don't cut down the tree. Like we're not getting rid of the tree. We're bringing Thalia back.
Because in this
So
scenario, where we are right now in the world, there's only two options for this
right,
prophecy, and that is
Luke is
Percy,
literally trying to
who's
kill one of them, and the other one's a tree.
and you mean to tell me that even if Percy survives, he's gonna say no. He's not gonna
He's
do it.
gonna say no.
You're gonna kill your other option?
Yeah,
Are we forgetting? Allison is useless.
But keep in mind, though, she's been trying to kill one of the big three kids like this whole season. Like,
Yeah,
she's
this whole
always
season.
down to kill them. And I'm just like, I don't understand Allison's purpose.
Mm-mm.
It just doesn't, like, I need more explanation of where she stands in the ranks. I need a better understanding because
Because at
obviously
this
Kronos
point,
talks to
why
her.
isn't Chris second in command? Because he seems to have more sense.
Also, Chris is the ride or die for Luke.
Yeah.
So I don't
He said,
know.
I'm
It's just
standing beside him.
Allison, because Allison is just a random character that was put in the series and not in the book. It's like her character just doesn't, like, she's gonna
It's
have to make sense
so
soon.
it's so
So that she
hard because when you give a story that already exists a new character and we don't understand their motivation and you don't make it clear what the motivation is, it becomes hard to say anything about them. Because I can sit here and say, Luke is a terrible person until I'm blue in the face, but I can understand why Luke is a terrible person.
right.
I,
We have no basis for Allison.
Allison, like I don't understand anything she does. She makes
Not to
bad
mention
decision after bad
again,
decision.
it's the beef with Annabeth also that just does not
It's
make
so weird. She's a
sense.
grown woman.
I just, and again, the going against Luke thing, I was just like, yo. But again, this is another moment where I love the respect between Percy and Clarice now.
Mm-hmm.
Where he wraps it around, hands her, and she just yeets that mug onto the tree. I
Yes.
was like, girl, you better shot put that thing. You better
Okay.
work.
Okay. But like I don't know what I thought they would do for Thalia's return,
I don't know either, but that wasn't
but
it.
I didn't hate it. I thought it would like well, I mean, I never thought that it was gonna be some like big to do or anything like that because it's just a fleece. It just stops, it
Right.
just heals whatever it does. But like her coming out and blasting Percy.
So here's my
Like,
thing.
geez.
It took longer to heal Annabeth than it did to bring Thalia out of the tree. I was
Well,
like,
that's because but I mean, but that's because Thalia wasn't hurt.
right. But then also, I don't care when she came out the tree, and I feel like she didn't mean to. I
Yeah, she
felt
didn't
like it
mean
was
to.
like, I feel like she was literally like freaking
She
out
was
because,
raging
like,
out on Zeus.
right, the rage wasn't towards Percy.
Right.
Obviously, Percy doesn't understand that, but like, he just so happened to be standing in front when it
In front.
happened. Like, anybody could have caught them licks.
Mhm.
The only problem that I have with this is that they did the lazy thing where, like, we have battles and stuff, and then they make them black out, and then when they
Oh,
wake
they
up,
did fade to
everything's just
black, yeah.
fine. And I'm like, we need more explanation, actually. Like, how did Luke react when he saw Thalia bust out the tree and lightning bolt
Mhm.
Percy? Um, how did they win? How did they retreat? Like, they were mid battle when
I
all
don't
of this
know.
happened.
Annabelle just said they
Like,
ran off, and I mean, I guess in retrospect, if they just ran off, I'm sure they let them run off because they were already, fighting a losing battle.
I guess, but to run off means that they all ran back to them vans and got back in the vans. And that's why I'm like, this doesn't work for me. And I know I'm too
I
literal
mean,
on
I
this,
get
but
it,
like,
but I get it though because like, where else would they go if not run back to the
I
vans?
mean, I get it. I know that they ran away. It's just one of those things where, like, for me, I'm like, it's always so lazy to me when they do the blackout and wake up. I
Mhm.
hate it in books and I hate it in movies and I hate it in shows where I'm like, it's this big moment and then they black out and like everything is just miraculously fixed. And I'm just like, nothing else has worked this well for the entire
And
series.
see, for me, I just didn't feel like the battle scene was needed. I like
Okay, and
I
that's
it,
how I feel.
that wasn't even like I just it was
If you're
fine.
not gonna give me the full battle, what was the purpose other than to
I
show
I feel
Luke
like
rage out?
mhm.
Annabeth got shanked with an arrow for literally no reason. Honestly, I cannot fathom the real reason for this. And they got the fleece back on the tree.
I mean, because
This could have happened
if
without the
we
battle.
weren't going to see Luke's reaction to Thalia actually coming back, I don't really understand the point of him being on at camp in that
Yep.
regard because it's like, I mean, if we're not gonna get a response, because obviously he was not there when it happens in the book, but and no one knew it was gonna happen in the book, but except Kronos. But if we weren't gonna get that, I don't really feel the need for the battle to happen. But I feel like a lot of times when TV shows, movies, book adaptations add battles, it's to, typically hype up a book that's not necessarily very hype. Because in retrospect, in the books, all we have is the fight between Percy and Luke that everybody watches, which I
Yes.
still think would have been
I
just fine.
actually
But
would have liked
honestly,
that though.
had they done it instead, that they just had Luke put on that cap, come in secretly and fight Percy, I would have been fine with that too. But
There's
I
just
just didn't think the
I
battle
think
was
it was a
necessary.
waste. I think it was a waste of a battle, if I'm gonna be honest. It just the whole purpose of going to camp was to kill Percy and get Thalia.
Mm-hmm.
Neither were accomplished. And let's keep in mind, Luke was very capable of waxing everybody there.
Mm-hmm.
Clarice was their best fighter, and she was fully hurt. Like
I don't
everybody was hurt.
like I didn't
I
hate
just,
it, and I'm fine with it being there. I just don't think it was exactly necessary to. I think it was just a way to try to end season two
with the
bigger than how
bang.
it ends. But I,
Yeah,
I think, and this is why I understand a lot of people's gripe with having the Thalia reveal not really be a reveal and everyone just know what's going to happen. I do
yeah,
think that's why a lot of people criticize that aspect of it, because obviously for book fans it wouldn't surprise us that the fleece works too well, quote unquote. But I mean, in that aspect I don't even really understand the point in naming the episodes after chapters when,
we
like,
knew, like we've known for multiple
we
episodes now.
know,
Like
like when you first read Sea of Monsters and you get to the chapter and it says the fleece works a little too well, or whatever it says, you
you have
don't know
no
what
idea.
that means. So you
Yeah,
get to the end and you're like, oh, that's what it means. But in this scenario, well, you don't need to have that listed as the thing, because we all now know that the fleece is going to work too well. We get that. And
my
so
other thing with that, I think they did that because they changed everything about how Thalia became a tree. I think that's why. I think the
oh,
big reveal was supposed to actually be this is actually why she was turned into a tree rather than her
mhm.
coming back.
Uh, and I get that, but I don't like. I saw someone put this on threads, is that like the reason they can't get behind it is because, like, that's just Zeus being Zeus. Like that's not something that made him go.
That's what I said. I said, so Zeus is being a douche? Oh no. Like
It's
she
like,
already hated him.
granted, everything that's wrong with Olympus is Zeus's fault. So, is anyone shocked that he would
I was
free his
like,
daughter?
are y'all kidding me? Like it's not like this change cracks me up because I'm like, I could totally see Zeus real because like by this time Percy exists and we know some other demigods of the big three exist. So I could totally see Zeus being like, well, if anybody's child is going to be a part of the prophecy, it's going to be mine.
It's gonna be mine,
Like, obviously. And
and
then
I'm
the
gonna
fact
use
that
her
she
as a weapon.
adamantly refuses, all because Zeus or because Hades sent the Furies to basically be like, hey, girl, hey, the reason that you're here is because your daddy wants you to do
Mhm.
X, Y, and Z. Like, oh no,
Hades
Zeus
is
is
so
mad that
funny.
she doesn't immediately just go, yes, father. She was like, I actually don't want to be your daughter. I want nothing to do with this. In fact, I'm gonna get my family and dip.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Zeus reacted very poorly.
No, okay. My thing is that I don't think the change was a shock that I assume the writers thought it was going to be.
I
I
don't think
do
it was
like
either.
the change. I
Yeah,
think even when I read the books as a kid, I was just like, since when is Zeus merciful? Like,
right. It's like I
like
could actually
when is
see
he going to do
Zeus.
that?
Nothing about this made me shocked. I was like, this actually feels actually way more Zeus than
Hmm.
the book.
Yeah,
Actually,
agreed.
this
It feels
feels
way
very
more
on
Zeus.
brand because even first season Zeus, let rest in peace.
I know.
Even first season Zeus, he was cocky. He was ready
Hmm.
to take Percy down just purely for feeling like he was embarrassed by him. This fits the Zeus narrative that we've got. So I was like, while I want to be shocked, I really want to be shocked. I'm not,
It's
and this
because
isn't from a like I because I read the books because this
mhm.
obviously isn't in the books. Like this should be a shocker, but I was like, actually, this feels on brand.
Yeah, it feels very on brand to Zeus, and I think because all of us, like as far as fans go, knew there had to be a reason that we were spoon fed that Thalia was gonna come back. We knew there had to be a reason to be spoon fed that, and
It had
so
to because they ruined the
it
whole
wasn't too
thing.
shocking. And I think that's where you kind of like lose people is I feel like when book adaptations happen, specifically when they become a series, the
Yeah,
object is always to shock fans and book fans. And
right.
the thing is, when you want to shock book fans, you can absolutely shock them, but sometimes you don't get the intended shock that you want, because sometimes if you
Yeah,
hype it up and it ends up being lackluster, you'll have people kind of being like, I'm not feeling that change. I didn't really care about it. It's not like
I
what
found
would have
myself
shocked me
underwhelmed.
what would have shocked me is if they changed it to Luke turning her into a tree. That would have had me going, not.
Honestly, again, what would have shocked me is some type of Luke and Thalia interaction.
Mm-hmm.
That's because that's what I assumed was going to happen. Because why else show us that he dropped the hat? Why else
Yeah.
show us any of that? Like it could have been very. I don't know. I was underwhelmed. I was like, okay, I mean, whatever. But at the end,
Now,
when Thalia and Percy are like standing up, I said,
that was my
Percy.
favorite scene.
I was like, Percy, why are you standing like that though? Like,
That was my
I
favorite
mean,
scene of the episode.
he
I
stood
love
up
how
like,
it
run up,
was.
get done up. And I'm like,
He was, but I feel like that was my favorite scene. But as far as how it was shot, where it was like the trio was together at first,
yes.
and then Thalia busts in, and Annabeth and her hug, and then Grover's like in the middle, Kyron's off to the side, and Percy's by himself,
And
and
Percy
she
is
even
aggressively by himself.
yeah, and
Aggressive.
Thalia even like holds Annabeth back a little bit from, because the only person in this scenario that she does not know is Percy. And then Percy narrates, he's like, he said, my nightmare just woke up or something. I put on threads. I love that he said that just for season 3 to just be him and Thalia fighting like
Yeah, I
siblings.
was like, honestly, I'm okay with this little narration at the end because this actually perfectly describes their relationship in
Yeah.
season 3. Like,
They
I was like,
fight
so
like
basically, y'all are letting us know ahead of time. No, they hate each other. Bet.
they
Love this
fight
crap.
like little kids
They
in book
do. It's
3.
gonna be
And it's
so
just
immature. I'm so excited for the immaturity, honestly,
I
because
know, because they're just going tit for tat all day, like they're siblings that didn't learn how to, control their emotions as kids. It's
right.
hilarious.
And it's literally
I
just
love how
them
that was done.
being the big three. It's like both of them are egotistical in a way. Like both
Mhm.
their daddies are egotistical. They are too. And yeah, that was the only part of the whole episode where I was like, and there we have it, folks.
We
That's a
skipped
good dynamic.
though. We skipped everybody's favorite godparent coming.
You know what? You know what?
Propaganda.
Number one, why was Tyson in the dream?
I did not. I did.
I
I
was
don't
like,
know.
you spent all this is, you're not awake and you're not dead. It's a dream. So why is Tyson popping up like, hey,
I'm
daddy, what's up? I'll go with you.
like I think what bothers me so much about Poseidon is that, like, okay, is he slightly above some of the other gods? I guess, sure, fine.
Barely.
But what kills me about that whole scene, and this is why I just can't get behind the god parent propaganda, is the fact that he tells Percy, I needed my son. You needed your son because
That was
he's
the most
healed.
savage because Percy's like, I mean, if you need help, he's like, no. Like, and then
Not
I
you.
tried
You
calling you
gotta stay
earlier.
here.
I tried calling you before, completely ignores. And then Tyson pops up and he's like, I need you. I need my son. He's like, awesome. I'm like,
Yeah, and you need him. You took him off the streets from being beat up because you need him to go work for Hephaestus.
however, sidebar, Daniel, you gave us all the nose and mouth expressions that we needed
Okay.
for this Cyclops look. Because
I
I
was
said,
like, you know
oh,
what? I know that's right.
I was like, not you trying to make me have a thug tear for a Cyclops crying.
I'm gonna miss him though. We won't see
I'm
him
gonna
for
miss
a
him so
while.
much. I mean, I wanted to know if they were gonna address any of that, but I am glad that they said like, hey Tyson, you're gonna go to such and
Mhm.
such because leaving that wide open would have not made any sense. I just
No.
wish that him and Percy would have had that brother moment that they had in the book.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, that's what I
actually really wanted
wanted.
that to happen for multiple reasons, but like I just kind of feel like Tyson deserves that. And having it in front of his dad, not to mention when his dad made that comment, like, and try to insinuate that he actually loved Percy's mom. I was like, Tyson is right there.
I'm just like,
The
sir,
other one that you made is
please.
right there.
I'm just like,
Please.
please. I said, oh, so you haven't made any more children? No Cyclopses? No
I
Cyclopses
was
exist
like,
after
you
Tyson?
just, I was like, your other son is going with you back under the sea, Bookie. Like, mind you, you had your baby mama watching him this whole time because you abandoned him. Yeah,
And keep in mind, there are other Cyclopses out there just
many. Let's not even pretend. A
just
lot of them are out there.
living on the streets and being beat up.
I just, I was like, I saw the ships
Propaganda.
today. I saw the ships today, and they kept doing like the Poseidon and Sally clips, and I was like, I absolutely refuse.
It,
I was like, am
it,
I a Sally stan? Absolutely
bring
love
Paul in
Sally.
immediately. Bring Paul
Sally.
in immediately.
I was like, boo, tomato,
Boo.
tomato. I don't believe this propaganda. Not to mention, he could say he loved everybody but Percy sitting right in front of him. You can say you're proud of everybody but Percy standing right. I was like, this is emotional damage.
Like,
Percy is
keep in
literally
mind,
trying here.
let's keep in mind, if Percy would have been conceived a day before the pledge on the river Styx, he would have never heard from Poseidon.
Never. And then talking about some, I was gonna tell you on the
Like,
eve of your
were
16th
you?
birthday, but I guess there's no real time to tell you about a burden. If I was Sally, I'd have been like, Poseidon, get down here. How long have you known that my baby was a part of a prophecy? Like,
You know what though? What I wanted to go back to a little bit because I forgot to say this about the whole Thalia thing. One thing I've always felt bad about Thalia when it comes to her character in particular is that this when Percy makes a comment to Sally that he at first thought that the same side of the coin was about him and Luke, and now he's realizing that it's actually probably about him and Thalia.
Natalia.
Um, is that they both have such like the people around them expect so much from them. And with Thalia in particular, you know, you have Luke who assumes that she'll come to Kronos' army. Zeus assumes that she'll be a weapon for him. And then even Annabeth assumes that she'll do something that she wants to do. And that's why I think I like the having Zeus thing change, because I feel like what she does later in the later books,
Makes
as far as the prophecy
complete sense.
concerns, is
Yes.
really powerful for her character because she consistently kind of chooses to help other people, kind of like Percy, where she's
Mm-hmm.
consistently trying to help the ones that she cares about, the one that she loves. She wants to help Annabeth. She doesn't want Luke to be evil, but at the end of the day, everyone's pulling her which way, and she doesn't want to be a weapon for anybody. She does not care about Zeus. She does not care about Cronus. She doesn't care about this prophecy. And that's why I like the change for Zeus, because I'm
Yeah.
like, later on, she'll get to make her own decision. And
It's like
so
at
I'm glad
first
about
it was
that.
kind of like at first I was like, why? But I watched the episode again today and I was just kind of like, actually, because we know they're keeping at minimum, they're keeping the general bones of the story.
Mhm.
This will make sense later.
Yeah.
It's one of those situations where like,
All we
okay, this
can
will
really
totally
say
make sense
about
later.
that.
Yeah. Now that's the episode because the episode was short. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
For me, it needed to be longer.
It felt like a continuation. You know how, like, I don't know if TV shows still do this, but remember how like Disney Channel and like Nickelodeon would have like
Or
part
it'd be
one and
like to
two,
be
but
continued.
to be continued.
Yeah.
It felt like that. Yeah.
That's what it did. Because it was short, wasn't it? I think it was actually shorter than last week's episode.
I think so.
That really made it feel like it wasn't really a finale. It really made it feel like it was like part two. So,
Like, to be continued.
dear
Oh, well,
Disney.
technically, there is an extra scene or two at the end.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's talk about the scenes.
The first scene comes after one of the original credits, and I squealed. You know what? It's a good thing that I am.
Listen,
It's a good thing that I am a credit truther because
you listen, Marvel has trained us very well at this
Mhm.
point. I was like, we have actually been conditioned to just sit through all credits now. Like,
Yep.
I did not even move from my couch until it popped up on my thing that it was completely finished because
Mhm.
I knew something was coming. But I just want you to know, I don't know what I was expecting, but that was perfect.
I was perfect. I was not expecting that. I was like, "Oh my god, the Percabeth shippers are
Not
fed
even just
today."
the Persephone shippers, but I'm geeking because I
I was
know what that
squealing.
scene means.
Yep.
And so I was like,
I was,
oh,
"Oh
I'm
my
so
god."
excited. So
I
excited.
like I can hear Percy's stupid inner monologue right now.
No, also the awkwardness between them. It was perfection. I was
Oh my god.
like,
And then Annabeth is kind of going like, "Oh my god, just." So
also,
I love
I
that.
hate the way they did her hair for that dress, but it actually fits Annabeth very
It
well.
fits
Like,
Annabeth very
so it's
well.
like I'm accepting, but also the braid, the Aphrodite hair salon eats
Mm-hmm.
because
It's
I
beautiful.
noticed that Percy's hair was also very nice and coiffed. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, Aphrodite's hair salon strikes again because, but yeah, I just,
Wait,
yeah.
listen, the best scene, I said this on Threads, the best scene of the whole episode was that last scene with Cersei's Island where she
Oh,
freaks
listen, I said, you know what? I said, first of all, why? Why do you
out.
have Percy looking down like that? Like just the pose that Percy has versus the
Oh,
pose that Annabeth has
Annabeth has.
cracked me up on a spiritual level. But it's really Cersei. If you stay, you'll fit the program. Not just giving credit.
I
I
said,
said,
I'm glad
oh,
it worked out for you, I guess.
I said, you know what? She's like, she's like Chris Kardashian level with the marketing
Oh, with
because
the
she
marketing.
turned
Yep.
she turned that whole story around. Like
Uh-huh.
I was like, all
Like,
right,
look what I
Cersei.
did for these kids.
Right.
I
Like I
can do it for
love
you.
them. If you stay dedicated to the program, it's completely possible for you too.
Ooh, that's
Cersei.
hilarious.
I was
That's
again,
hilarious.
I was not expecting that, but I was like, all right, that's
Again,
funny.
it's a good thing I just watched the credits because I was just sitting in bed letting them run through after the Percy and Annabeth sneak peek. And then I heard more music. I said, "What the hell?" And I looked up and I said, "No way."
I just busted out laughing when the statues came out. I said, get out. Get out.
One thing
Yes.
a god is going to do is be absolutely insane.
Listen, I said, you know what? Stay in character.
Yep.
So,
So that is it.
how do you rank the season?
The season, like out of what? Out of 5 or 10?
I'm going to say out of 10. Rank the
Out of
season out of
10.
10.
Out of
And did you like it
10.
more than season one?
Liked it more than season one.
Okay.
I'd give it like a 7.5.
Okay. See, I was going to give it a solid 8.
I give it a 7.5. Like, wait, we're
I
talking
ate,
about the.
I docked the whole point for Allison.
That was my docked point.
It was like whole point, Allison. But I do.
My brain was 8, but I was like, I'm gonna duck half a point just for Allison existing.
I just, yeah, I was like, I can't do more than an 8 because y'all gave us
because
Allison.
because I definitely would give like the first season an 8.5, but like I like the second season more somehow. I
I
don't
think
know.
the second season gave us, they were acting, they were in their
Yeah.
element. I think the first season, everybody's kind of like filling it out. But this season, I was very proud and very happy with what they gave us. I look forward to season 3. I look
But
forward to our
also,
prediction
I feel
video.
bad giving Sea of Monsters anything because it's my least favorite book. So I feel like I'm
I
being
find it
biased.
interesting that I enjoyed it so much, considering that it is, in fact,
Like,
my least favorite book.
I like if I had to put them in order, Sea of Monsters is probably very, very like at the
Sea of
end.
Monsters is last for out of the first 5. It's the last one for me.
That's for me. Yeah. So because my favorite book is Labyrinth. So
My
I
favorite
don't.
book, of course, yours is Labyrinth, because we're not different at all.
Let's
Because
just wrap up this
mine
episode.
is
Oh
the
my
Labyrinth and book
god. And
5, then book
again.
3, then book 1, then book 2. No, I want to be different. Just let me be different. I hate you.
Mine is 45312.
I'm not my own person when I'm around you, and I hate it. On that note,
Oh.
thank you guys
Well,
so
you
much.
know what? For once,
What?
we can't put age in front of it. This is something that I top you in because I read the books before you did.
You did, and I still made the same assumption. I
You
hate it
made
here.
the same one.
That doesn't help our twin case at all. Like, of course.
Of course it
But
is.
yeah. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us for these reaction videos. We loved reading your comments and your inputs
Yes.
and everything. Just a reminder, we do have regularly scheduled podcasting or podcasts and Pixie Bites that go up on this channel. So just because we're not talking about Percy Jackson anymore does not mean you have to leave. Just come on and stay. We talk about really random stuff.
Yeah.
Really,
And
really random stuff.
don't forget that when we finally do get word of season 3 at the end of this year, we will come back to do a little read along for Titan's Curse before the series drops, and we will come back for weekly episodes when the new
Yes,
season drops
we're gonna
later.
be doing it through until that show ends. We will be doing it until that because these are fun. I kind of want to do another show, honestly, but I don't know what other
I
show
don't
would
know
hold
what
me
other
like
show we
that
could
one.
do.
Yeah, I don't know any show that's coming out that's gonna make me be like, yes.
I'm like, no, maybe we can rewatch Owl House. But that's it for us. And we will see you guys in our next podcast episode. Bye.
Bye.